So let's go ahead and start talking about price action. I have my charts nice and organized on the 1 hour chart, previous range. So if we do happen to get rejected here and put in a double top, which is maybe a possibility, but if we do that and we do break to the downside, more than likely we'll go back down to retest 24,000. But we have consistently been holding this uptrend for the past almost 20 days. Okay, so we would have to break a pretty severe support in terms of diagonal trend. So maybe we have one more stretch up to about 30,000, maybe even more. I don't know. We have two different ranges here above the all-time high of resistance of about 19,500. If we do happen to break down, we would have to break this large diagonal trend here and then possibly move down from there. So 24,000 would be the target if that is the case, but just like Litecoin had, we have a double bottom here with the horizontal resistance of the double bottom. Well, the first break at about 27,237. So that can kind of be your contingency, whether or not you continue to, either look for a short position or possibly just exit a long position. I'm still in my long right now. I do plan on taking profits and then retaking the trade on the breakout, but that being said, I want to show off a really cool trick that a friend named Surfer taught me that he learned from somebody else. If you change the length of the RSI on any time frame, okay, if you change the length to 250, it really makes things nice and smooth and easier to identify. So you can see right here we had a double bottom on the RSI, broke the horizontal, blast off, and then we came back down, retested the horizontal resistance of that double bottom, blast off, and now we're doing kind of the same thing. So you can see we're in line with this bullish convergence here on the RSI as well. So I mean, all of the tops have kind of been landing around the 63 mark, so there is a possible chance that we get up to that pinnacle and then finally see a real pullback, not just continuation dip. Don't you start barking. Oh my God. I got people coming in and out of my house every 5 seconds, so Fish always loses his mind. Fish. It's the same people that have been coming in and out of this house for the last year. Nothing has changed. Calm down. Calm down, buddy. So, it's really cool for the smaller time frames because it really helps you identify the most important stuff that you need to really see, because there's a lot of information on the RSI if you are on those smaller time frames. But more importantly, I want to take a look at the daily chart here. All right, let me make my camera just a little bit smaller since I don't have my green screen up. All right, so on the daily chart here, I want you to kind of look at the difference between the 2016 bull market and our current bull market. All right, what do you see on the RSI that's different? All right, I'll tell you what I see. The 2016 bull market was a diagonal upwards trend. This bull market is a double bottom with the break of a resistance and a direct target. That's the scary thing, okay? This bull market, I think, will happen extremely quick. Quicker than people expect because of this, okay? As well as that, we always can get, our target and then come back down and get another bounce and then get a double top. So there might be even more room to the upside, even once we reach that 75 on the RSI goal. So I just want to share that little piece of information because I thought it was quite interesting to see the way that RSI is shaped up comparative to the last bull run. I think it's going to give us a lot of information on how this bull run is going to act. Which is speed instead of, endurance. So moving on to the next coin, we're going to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is very close to our next possible entry. I'm going to be taking my entry on Ethereum at about, what did we say on the Telegram here? 746.19, just about. Okay, so right about here, a little bit above that average last high, and then my stop loss is going to be, pretty much right about here. And then I'm looking for about $800, okay? Now, I am of the opinion because of how LTC is sitting, that we are going to get above the next major macro resistance by a small amount. It could be 840, it could be 820, and then we will come back down to 800 and use it as support rather than resistance at first. I'm sure there'll be one rejection off of it and then maybe a retest, but I don't think we're going to hold significant resistance out there at first, just because of the way things look right now. So what really told me the other day not to be bearish, typically most coins move together, especially Ethereum and Bitcoin. And Ethereum has a double bottom off of the daily chart with a significant amount of price action and target left on the RSI to go. We have just broken the horizontal resistance on the double bottom on the daily RSI. And like we talked about on the 4-hour with Bitcoin, when we had our double bottom on the 50, you don't want to short double bottoms. Not good idea. All right. They could work out, but very unlikely. So what you want to do is don't short and then wait for the breakout trade. You don't want to get into a premature long. That's jumping the gun. Make sure you're playing it safe. But that's what told me that we were really looking for more upside here. And I think we have enough potential to get past $800 and then find support off of it rather than use it as resistance. So you can see this low of this range is correlated to this low on the RSI. So theoretically, while being up further on price action, we have actually gone back down and retested that same level and are now finding support. Now, obviously, a lot of people might say, well, there's a head and shoulders pattern here that can possibly take place. And yes, there is. But the first thing that I'm looking at is we have a double bottom and we're sitting at the horizontal resistance and looking to break through it. And as well as that, on a higher time frame, that head and shoulders doesn't even exist. We're already broken out to the upside. We are going up as long as we do not fall back down any further in terms of RSI's range. The good thing about Ethereum, and that's why I think it's a lot more bullish than the other assets, is we have this long-standing uptrend. So we are in a uptrend on top of an uptrend, using an uptrend as support. I don't know how much more bullish it can get. I really don't know, man. Pretty much Litecoin and Ethereum are the only altcoins I really trade. I traded XRP for a little bit, but with the way things are moving, I'm just going to settle down on that. Have a couple, a good amount of it on spot, but I'm not going to be leverage trading it. EOS, I'm waiting for us to break the bear market in order to start trading it upwards. 1-hour chart. We are approaching the macro resistance of 140. Now, as well as that, we have a descending wedge that has broken out to the upside. This is the 2-hour. Let me go down to the 1-hour here. We have a descending wedge that has broken out to the upside here. I got wicked out today, very early this morning, which I don't know if I should have taken this trade because obviously I was sleep deprived, but essentially all we did was go back down and retest the previous resistance and then find support. I did get wicked out on the smaller time frames, so therefore I re-entered as soon as we got back above the range resistance from the previous range. That's the thing, guys. All right. A lot of people ask me, what is it that makes you re-enter a trade? It is confidence. All right. And not just confidence, but unwavering solitude, not solitude, but unwavering conditional setups. Okay. I separate Austin and the trader. The trader is a robot with no emotions, and he goes based off of if this and that statements. There's no ifs, ands, or buts when it comes to emotions, only facts and variables. That's it. So as soon as we got back above that, I re-entered. No emotion. I'm not scared. I went to bed. I was in negative 50% for a little bit off of that trade, and then I just went to bed, and then I woke up, and then I'm up $1,000 on Litecoin. All right. So it's about confidence, but not just confidence, no emotions. All right. If you look at rich people, what do you typically see? A lot of the times, the really rich people, they are like stone cold killers when they're in their business mode. All right. Because in order to get shit done, you can't have emotions. You can't be monkey. You have to be computer. Use it. Okay. So I do believe that we will start to return back up to about $35. Now, with that being the new range, about 35 to 123, and with us possibly having more of a longer target based off of this flagpole here, and especially when it comes to the small time frame fib retracements. Okay. Actually, let's go to the trend-based fib extensions here. That puts our 0.618 at about 145 and our 1 at about 158. So there is the possibility that we get above the 0.618, maybe go test the 1 and then use the 0.618 as support. That is an availability. As well as that, we have not only an uptrend on Bitcoin, but we have an uptrend on Litecoin as well. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin does not have this, but Litecoin does. Litecoin actually has the possibility of having a bearish ascending wedge. Here's my ideology, though. I think that we will travel up this wedge until we get to about 160, 167 to the pinnacle, and then we are going to break down. Now, the target, if we do happen to break down, will be the length of the opening of this wedge. Where does that end up? Above the $140 support. Now, obviously, the smaller time frames on the first test down is going to wick lower, but we're looking for it to average out around that area, and all of that momentum is going to be then transferred to the upside. So we're getting above the next major resistance using a bearish pattern and then breaking down to retest and then continuation from there. I love to see it. So I think that's a possibility. We have a nice uptrend, and until we break it, there's no reason to be bearish. Let's go ahead and take a look. We have a double bottom on the 1 hour chart with a little bit of hidden bullish divergence, so continuation divergence. The daily itself, the daily is not necessarily looking too hot, but there's still more room to the upside for sure. There's still a lot of room to the upside, which, you know, we're starting to run out of momentum, which, you know, plays into this ascending wedge idea. But nonetheless, we go based off of our actual ranges, which at the moment, all right, we can kind of pretend that the 140 doesn't exist and that it's just, you know, 135. And then we're breaking above 135, and then we'll find a new top and then probably come back down and retest 135 in the future as a wick or maybe an average. Who knows? And we kind of just continue to work our way up. That's all. When do you think the big dump for altcoins will happen that everyone talks about? After we get above 140 and 800 respectively on Ethereum and Litecoin. Once we get above that, we'll see it go slightly above, but then we will have a very nice retracement down to retest. Because those are the last two major supports and resistances when it comes to reaching the all-time highs. So we need to find stable support off of that so that we can get a launching pad. We're still waiting for EOS to kind of shape up. We still got some time on that. But I mean, if we do come back down to this diagonal region, the bottom of this capitulation, if you want to say that, you might be able to pick some up on spot. I wouldn't necessarily leverage trade it yet. Like I said, I want to have confirmed breakouts before I really start leverage trading it. That way it's just a lot easier on me and everybody else. So that contingency is going to be on the break of the diagonal, as well as that the first major local high of about $3.80. Once that's broken and we're out of the downtrend, I have confidence from that point forward that we are going to be charging forward. I don't know what to, because I really don't have, you know, a complete ideology, because like we use the metric of the value in comparison to the last bull run for Bitcoin when we're talking about Litecoin and Ethereum. You know, like Ethereum held like 15%, I believe, because we got to 20,000 and then we got to what? Actually, no, it was a little bit less than that. It was about 5%. Okay. Yeah. So it was about, I'll say 15 grand, not 15 grand, $1,500. So that's just under 10%. So if we get to 150 grand, we can assume that Ethereum will probably be around 15,000. Just, you know, an estimate. Obviously, that's very crude and probably ineffective, but I'm just trying to, you know, theorize. So, as long as we continue to hold that, we should be able to get up to our next local high of about $132. And then, shortly after that, 178. Now, here's the interesting part. I know you can see a lot of different supports and resistances on this downtrend here, but this is a single downtrend, okay? So the actual only support and resistance that matters is the all-time high. So if you guys want a really nice and safe play, I would say pick up a Dash around maybe like $190 and just hold on to it to the all-time high. That's a 600% gain, and it's a very, very safe trade. So just a thought, just an idea, but that is an availability. Let's talk about like this, okay? All right, downtrend, uptrend, so boom. Okay, this is all the supports and resistances that truly matter when it comes to Zcash. All right, and if you can see it, we have a inverse head and shoulders on Zcash here. Okay, so I know you probably want to get in sooner rather than later, but think about this. How much safer of a trade will it be if you break out above the left shoulder of the inverse head and shoulders? Because at that point, your new target is $728. So you can possibly enter around 120 and just hold on to it with pure certainty that as long as you stay above 120, you're going to get to 703. That's a 500% difference. And as well as that, it's a breakout with a bullish target, rather than having to wait for all this price action down here to kind of work itself out. Just an idea, but that's what I see. Let's take a look at Link. Okay. Daily chart. Link. Okay. It's exactly, all right, it's looking exactly like Bitcoin. Okay. But a much, much bigger time frame. All right. Now, we don't have to come all the way back down to $8. We could get a higher low. Let's go ahead and check out the RSI. The RSI is pretty much getting a double bottom. Okay. So we could be putting in that higher low any day now and kind of turning this into a much larger ascending triangle. So that being said, let's go ahead and put 250 on because we were talking about that earlier. And for the daily, it might actually work. All right, so let's exaggerate it a little bit. So you can see that we are getting a double bottom off of the daily chart. All right. So I would assume that somewhere soon, possibly on the smaller time frames, we're going to get a double bottom here. And we're going to put in a higher low and start this uptrend kind of like this, okay? And then we'll probably break out sometime around March to May, okay? So you're looking for a break of $20. I don't know where this is going to go, but that's all you need to know is what needs to happen for what to happen. Taking profits is going to be, the main thing, but that will come with time. You're worried about getting your entry. If you want to, you do have the possibility of possibly getting in a little bit earlier on the break of $15.62 to 80 cents. But if you want to be extra safe, kind of like what we did today, go ahead and get in at about the break of, let's say, get in around $20. And you should be safe. You should be safe from that point. XRP to zero kite. I sold most of my XRP. I'm still holding on to a decent amount, but like I said, I don't want to promote you guys doing one thing or another, but I definitely think that there is a possible chance that this is insider trading at its finest. What's your view on ADA? I think it's a good coin. I like Monero a lot better, but hey, from a technical analysis perspective, ADA is going to do very, very well. But, there's 1,000 different altcoins out there, and I get asked so many questions about different ones. I think they all have potential as long as Bitcoin is doing well. Obviously, there's some altcoins that will never come back from the grave, but if it's been around long enough and it has a good track record and the team is still working hard, it's going to see profits. When does alt season start? Is it going in your view? It's really not going to really start picking up steam until we fully get past that all-time high like we have on Bitcoin. But I mean, what more can you ask for? Now, it depends on what altcoin season you're talking about. If you're talking about altcoin season where you can just throw like a dart at a dartboard that has all of the altcoins listed and you're just going to magically make money, I hope that doesn't happen, because there's a lot of people that are going to make money and then lose money. But I mean, already, I mean, in the past, you know, couple months, we're already up, you know, 49% in the last month on Ethereum. And I mean, in the last 3 months, we're already up 100%. And I mean, it's just going to keep going. So, I mean, alt season's here, baby. I mean, you're making gains left and right. I mean, I wouldn't have made as much money on the $100 account if I was just trading Bitcoin. You know, it's mostly been Litecoin and Ethereum that have made me the most money.